All right, let's start with travel on our mind. And if you've got to plan the next one straight away to ensure that you keep sane at work, then this episode is for you. Now, travel in 2025 is all about unique indulgences and of offbeat experiences, locations. And we covered the top 9 trends for you yesterday. But what about stay? Now, forget cookie cutter vacations, a basic sort of accommodation. Travel in 2025 is all about personalized experiences, and that extends to where we stay as well. Now, according to a travel industry report, over 60% of travelers prioritize unique, memorable accommodations and experiences. This year, we are seeing a surge in demand for everything from extended stays, that means not short vacations but longer stays, and hyper-personalized services to off-grid escapes and even glamping.
Glamour plus camping. Now, whether you're seeking adventure, relaxation, or maybe even just a unique travel experience, these are the 7 trends we're seeing in accommodation that are shaping the future of where we rest our heads. All right, number 1, we're seeing more extended stays. Travelers are embracing the idea of slow travel. They're seeking longer duration stays. There are budget-friendly options that are available for extending stays that are gaining popularity, because obviously that's your biggest concern. How can you afford a longer stay? And this trend actually reflects a desire within people, possibly for a deeper immersion in the destinations that they're choosing to stay in. Now, the second trend that we saw, hyper-personalization. Hotels are anticipating what are the guests going to need, and they're actually offering tailor-made experiences. And that's where you also have AI playing a very big role. It's powering recommendations and it's helping personalize amenities that are becoming more and more the norm. The focus is on basically creating a unique, a memorable stay for each and every guest that comes and stays at a location.
So some might want to stay in, some might want to go on a hike, third might want to sit down in a quiet place and write. Whatever you want, the places and accommodations are trying to go over and above to make it happen for you. That's what the trend is all about. Which brings us to trend number 3, which is the glamping, which is even more evolved. Now, glamping is what we had in 2024. What about 25? The luxury glamping pods are now equipped with cutting-edge tech. Features like smart home integration, panoramic views, private hot tubs are becoming the standard now, and glamping is evolving into a truly luxurious and immersive experience. That means you're out in the wild somewhere, but with all your comforts. Trend number 4, talking about comforts, there is boutique bliss. Micro hotels offer intimate stays with personalized services and unique design. Now, these smaller properties provide a more exclusive, memorable experience. The focus is on creating a unique ambience and fostering a sense of community as well. That means you want a hidden gem, but you want the boutique experience in it to be well and truly intact.
And speaking of that, the hidden gem context here, people more and more want off-the-grid escapes. So we know that you have an increase in eco-conscious travelers. They're seeking solace more and more in solar-powered cabins and eco-lodges. These are essentially properties that offer a unique opportunity to disconnect from the grid. Cell connection nahi hai, and you reconnect instead with nature. Off-grid stays promote sustainability. There's a deeper sense of appreciation for the environment. And what we're also seeing, and this perhaps comes hand in glove with that other trend we talked about, is a trend increasingly of a focus on health and wellness with wellness retreats.
Big trend in 25.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're seeing this take place in states like Goa, Kerala, a focus on well-being with on-site spas, fitness centers, healthy dining options. You have properties that are offering wellness programs that will help guests relax, rejuvenate, improve their overall health, and wellness travel in itself. So traveling for multi-day retreats where you're going to have massages, meditation, yoga, that's increasingly becoming popular. Accommodations are adapting to meet this same demand everywhere.
Yeah, doesn't that sound lovely though? And which brings us to our last trend, which is trend number 7, sustainability focus. Eco-friendly practices like solar panel and water conservation are becoming increasingly important, meaning people want to filter locations and accommodations who provide that. Many properties are now implementing green initiatives to reduce their environmental impact. They're charging a premium on it, and people are saying, yes, we will pay to ensure that the planet stays safe, even while we indulge in our experiences. So those were the top 7 trends really that we're looking at for accommodation, only for stay. So we thought we'll talk to some people about it a little bit more. Joining us now is Brinda Sharma. She's a travel influencer. And as we speak, I am told she is already on one of her travels in Manali. And I was told there is a little bit of a network issue there. Let's hope that doesn't happen. If not, then you can watch out for reviews, because that's a clear no-no for 2025, as we've seen in one of the trends. Also with us now is Caroline. She is the CEO of Blue Kite. Now, the Blue Kite is a hospitality arm of VNR, a luxury home developing company. And I would love to understand from her what kind of experiences, tailor-made experiences, are people actually asking for. So first question, and maybe Brinda and Caroline can take both of them together, as in one after the other. Brinda, with you, we just stated the top 7. Which, according to you, speaks the most to people in India at the moment?
I think the tailor-made experiences, that's what I've been seeing. So I'm staying at a friend's property right now. It's a boutique stay. So the most requested things that I've seen are tailor-made experiences, or, exploring hikes that not everyone goes to, or places that I personally go to just, to unwind, and stuff that I don't show on social media. I think that's where people are headed at the moment.
Okay, Caroline, one trend that speaks to you the most?
I would actually say the same. What we see here in Goa is that people come and they want to experience the intimacy of a villa because they're celebrating a milestone birthday or a bachelorette party, or, people are getting married and they want the parents to meet, some person is, wanting to surprise his fiance with a proposal. And so those are all experiences which we want to facilitate so that the experience is really memorable for them.
Oh, how lovely. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more about Blue Kite's expansion in just a second. But I want to go back to you, Brinda, to understand, because you are someone who influences, and you are a travel influencer in particular, which means that in real time you're getting feedback from people who are taking your tips, taking your advice, using it in their own lives. I just want to ask you, what do you think young India wants? We've talked about the trends and the changes we're seeing, but what's the largest concern within even wanting customized stays? What are people asking for? What are the locations they're gravitating towards? Which are the videos of your own that you see get the most clicks?
So there's like a big difference here. So the places that I get a lot of views at are a little different. So there was this recently, I went to this place in Nepal. It's this beautiful village on the way to Annapurna base camp. It's called Gandruk. It is so, I can't even describe it. It is so beautiful. So I think people are looking for places that have not been explored yet. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because they want to be the first on social media, because I see a lot of people getting into the social media game now, and places that have already been covered don't get that much traction. Either it's that, or it's about like truly unwinding, because you see those, the same places so much on your phone and on, on the TV or in movies. So maybe I've been seeing a lot of offbeat places that people, want to visit and go and see.
Actually, offbeat, unique, never seen before are trends that are carrying forward from 24 to 25. Yeah. But let's sort of dial back on accommodation per se. And Caroline, if you can sort of, tell us a little bit more about, this hyper-personalization that you already spoke about. But what really interested me was longer stays. So it is, people are coming in and booking locations to say that I'm not coming in for just a weekend getaway. It could be weekend getaway plus a week of work that I will be doing from here. So requirements can vary, and people have to really think about accommodations, hotels, Airbnbs, etc., to really think about what they're providing.
So what we've seen, during COVID is that companies got used to having people working remotely. And what we see right now is that that trend sort of continues despite COVID being over. And you have people who are, entrepreneurs working for big companies in tech, or in finance or in creative fields who want to take a place for 2 weeks to 2 months and really experience what it is, to live in Goa and, go and see the sunset or go surfing on the weekend. You also have people who want to escape the cold and the pollution of Delhi. And all they need really is a reliable source of internet, a room to isolate themselves in case they're coming with the family. And obviously, most operators like us offer hefty discounts if you're staying a week or a month and more, because usually, we get weekend occupancy, but it's really hard to get those weekdays. And so if the guest is willing to stay longer, we obviously reward them for it.
Nice.
Okay. And Brinda, if we can ask you, if we just look at younger India, we know that everything from hostels to these, tailor-made experiences where you're staying at someone's house, they're making the lunch and the breakfast for you. This is what we're really seeing expansion in. And I want to ask you, Brinda, tell us a little bit about your own experiences here. So, for example, a lovely, lovely place you've stayed at, what that's looked like. And therein I want to ask you, what's your advice to people? Because getting and finding unique spaces in itself can be quite dicey, especially if you don't have the Airbnb reviews to back it up.
So I think for the second question, since that's what I remember the most, I think following influencers that you feel are reliable, because I have promoted so many homestays. So the places you spoke about are homestays. Firstly, I think even on apps like Make My Trip and so many other apps, there's options for booking homestays. So even these smaller places that run homestays or like maybe 2 or 3 bedroom rentals usually are on apps or something. Or whenever you are traveling to a place and there's no network or something, or if there's this one place in Ladakh close to this lake called Somoridi, that village is called Korzok. So I visited that during the winters when it's like minus 32, minus 35 degrees, and it's crazy. So usually I just go there and I figure out my accommodation. That's also one way to do it. Because now most places in the mountains are firstly obviously very safe, and secondly I think that's also a good way to keep your trip very impromptu. That's one. And secondly, homestays are my personal favorite because they give you like a little peek into the culture of the village you're staying at, and they're most popular in very like higher villages in the mountains for us. So for example, in Spiti Valley there is one homestay I stay at. They usually have like a common area where they have a tandoor in the center, so that keeps the whole room warm because it's so cold during the
Bukhari,
winters.
yeah.
Bukhari, exactly. And then there's this sitting on the ground all by the wall, like where I'm sitting. And everyone, no matter what room you're staying at, there's no privacy there. So you come out, you eat your meals, you interact with the people, you interact with the locals. I think it's such a sweet experience that you don't really get to do when you're traveling firstly in bigger cities, and also when you're staying at hotels. So I think that's why people prefer homestays. Even this village I'm talking about in Spiti has hotels now, even during the winters that are running, but I still prefer going and staying at homestays because I don't know, it makes you feel a little humble, I think.
Yeah, it really helps you immerse in the experience. I think that's what I really got a glimpse of from there. But Caroline, I think one trend that I'm seeing really emerge is that earlier it used to be an itinerary that will dominate the program, but your entire holiday or your stay. But now a lot of onus is put on where I'm staying. I need this for my baby, I need this for my parents, I need this for myself. My husband is on this diet, I am on this diet, I am doing like, are you seeing a lot of pressure now emerge on stays to provide and cater to all different kinds of people, even in the same family?
Yes, for sure. 100%. And a lot of times people want to have cooks or chefs coming into their home to cater to whatever need they have. And I think this is great. People should holiday and make the most of that time they have off and not, be constrained to what's available on the buffet or, being sitting with people they don't know. So I think it's a great thing that people are asking, and we're here to provide. So.
Okay.
Can I just stay with you, Carolyn, for a second to understand, and we'll just tell our audiences here, part of what Blue Kite does is it works with, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Carolyn, but it seems like it works with people on the ground. So if you own a house, if you own a set of houses, you can contact Blue Kite, say that, you know, we want to host people, and Blue Kite will even work as a provider in that sense. And I want to understand with you, Carolyn, what is it like? What is the Indian market like? In the last 10 years, are you seeing people more and more willing, especially as you're expanding to new areas? I know you've just expanded into Nainital, Shimla you were already located, Delhi you were already located. Are you seeing a willingness, and what are people's hesitations as they say, okay, I'm opening up my house?
So I think people realized during COVID that there was untapped opportunity if they own a home to generate an income from it. I think at first there was this reluctance, you know, what if people touch my things, you know, what if the place isn't maintained the right way? But quickly people have realized that, you know, if you own a home, maintaining it is a full-time job. And so this is what we do for them. And actually, when you want to take a holiday in that home, the last thing you want is to be fixing the pool or, you know, training the staff for those 10 days that you're there in a year. And so this is what we do for them. So that's from the homeowner side. And I think all the tech behind what we do enables a lot of transparency. They know exactly how many people are staying, on which days. They know that the booking is coming through API. They have visibility over the calendar. They can block when they're coming. There's visibility over the bills. And so I think this sense of transparency has also helped people open up their home. And from the guest perspective, I think, you know, during COVID, people didn't want to share space in big hotels. And so they tried those homestays and rented accommodation for a while. And I think they took up to it. They really enjoyed it. They really enjoyed waking up with their friends, having breakfast around the dining table, staying in pajama until whatever time they wanted, going to the beach only when they felt like it. And so this habit is very much there now, and it's here to stay.
Interesting. Brinda, since we are all four women talking about this, I have to ask, for all our viewers watching right now, and there is so much of solo travel that popped up as a trend as well this year, a lot of getting to make friends on holiday, not going on a holiday with friends. There's a huge difference doing all of that. Are there some basic checklists that you have in mind on how to scan through a good accommodation? Because now there are just so many options and you don't know how it will actually turn out.
I think for me at least there's no real checklist, because mostly whenever I travel to places, especially in the mountains, I feel safe and I know you know, you can make out a lot from the pictures, at least maybe because I've had the experience for now. But you know, for apps like Airbnb, you can always see the reviews, and I usually don't go for places that don't have a lot of reviews if I'm traveling abroad. So you know, I see basic things like if the person who's hosting is a super host, or if how many reviews are there, how many stars are there, just basic stuff like that. And I think in India, I don't really have a checklist, and usually if I have bad feelings about a stay, I just choose the next one. I don't think, since there are so many, and you know, there's always one available if you don't like the one that you're staying at. I think there's stuff that you don't really have to think, don't really have to put so much pressure on yourself about.
Yeah, that's actually quite nice, no?
Yeah,
To know that change actually, yeah.
I also love that we can I think that's the sound of people, because you said you're living in a communal space, and I think we can actually hear the people you're living with right now, which is so lovely.
Wind, because it's been so windy in the morning.
Okay, great. Caroline, Brinda, thank you both for joining us and sharing all those insights, and we hope to our viewers we've been able to help you with how to get to the right accommodation, and also what are just the plethora of options really out there.
Right. Staying at people's homes, as we discussed right now, can be such a lovely, lovely experience.
Like
and
the holiday.
Yeah, and it's so lovely to know that more Indians are opening their homes. We were talking a little bit, and I was thinking that, you know, India has always been Atithi Devo Bhava, and quite literally now we're opening up our homes for other Indians.